Good afternoon, good morning, depending on what part of the world you are. I'm Liina, and I'm here with Julian Gozio. We're doing Crypto Divas again. Hello. Firstly, I must apologize if I'm not the sharpest today. It's my wedding anniversary, so we went on a big tour of pubs and bars last night.
Oh, lovely. How many years? How many years, Liina?
Wedding, just one, but altogether 9 years. So
wow.
Nearly a decade. Right, so let's have a look what's happened in crypto last week. I found this news on CoinDesk. Basically, so at the heart of Ethereum, there's a virtual computer which they call EVM, the Ethereum Virtual Machine, and they are replacing it. And I really love the comment of one of the Ethereum developers. It's pretty funny. Let me just find it now. He said, Lane Rettig, an Ethereum developer, said it was kind of like a tool. A Swiss Army knife is the way I would describe it. It does a bunch of things, but not incredibly well. So they are now replacing it with a thing called eWASM, which is the Ethereum's version of WASM, which stands for WebAssembly code. So yeah, this is sort of good news, I reckon. And it's they're saying that the performance is going to go up, and potentially we're going to see some great things from Ethereum.
Excellent, because there's been quite a bit of Ethereum in the news. And I just whisper, the price at the moment is over 200 billion at the moment. Hooray, billion. But I saw that Joe Lubin did an in-depth interview with one of the publications, and he, of course, is the co-founder of Ethereum Consensus. But he was saying, it's interesting, they've got about 50 projects operational at the moment, which is quite good news. Now, the reporter asked him, do you think that was scary enough other startups because they were kind of cornering the marketplace? And he didn't think so. But plus also, he was saying that a lot of the employees, a lot of these projects, they either base them from the ideas from the employees, or they bring in people, and they'll be owning a chunk of the company. So if you're a Consensus employee, that sounds quite nice, isn't it? You're going to get a lot of stocks and shares and value and stuff like that. And then he was asked about his relationship with Vitala, and he said, we have lots of hot debates. So I don't know if sure about, but it was kind of nice to hear that, because I think maybe, we can say it all summer, but maybe the markets are going to look more at what's happening and ignore all this price crash stuff, whatever. And actually, someone else was saying too, Tim Draper, he was saying that he reckons that in 15 years, the total crypto market capitalization will be 80 trillion. So we're 200 billion or 80 trillion in the next 15 years. He said it goes in waves as people come to trust digital assets. And I think that is true, because a few days ago, I met a friend of mine I hadn't seen in a while, and I was trying to explain to her what I was doing. And I went back to all the blockchain stuff again. She said, I don't understand this at all. I just said, well, do you understand the internet? Do you understand how a plane works? No, we just take it for granted. We don't need to understand it. We just have to trust it, or trust that what I'm saying is true. That when I get onto a plane, like I'm going to Sri Lanka next week, when I get on the week after, sorry, when I get on that plane, I'm trusting, please God, it's going to take me to my destination. So I think I got through to her. I think she said, oh. And the interesting thing as well, she shares a lot of the world views of the crypto world, as in, that disruptive stuff, and recognizing that a lot of things aren't working, the inequalities and stuff like that. So she'd be quite a liberal woman anyway. It was quite nice to make her understand that this new technology is very liberating and what it can do for the world. So yeah, so I'm one person at a time. We're convincing people one person at a time.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I also read about what Tim Draper has said, and I completely agree that. He also mentioned that the internet started the same way. It came in big waves and crashed badly, and then it went much further. And he reckons that blockchain would go even further than that, because it's taking on trillion dollar markets like finance, healthcare, insurance, banking, and governments. So there's definitely a big future ahead of us here.
Yeah, I interviewed a chap called Anderson Tan from the Philippines. He's an angel investor. And he was saying exactly the same thing too as well. He's been analysing all the different bubbles and crashes, whatever, and he reckons that there's another 2 to 5 years where this market will go a bit crazy, and then we'll have a crash. But out of that, it'll ease off, because there'll be commonplace adoption and mass adoption and stuff like that. So I think, yes, there's a feeling that to be, and then it'll go this, like normal market as well. So if we survive the next 2 to 5 years, Liina.
Definitely keep going. Oh, on another news, I don't know where I saw this today, but JP Morgan has predicted that the next economic crash will be in 2020, which looking at what's going on now, how investors are slowing down, real estate prices are really high. I reckon that's pretty plausible. But what normally happens during an economic crash is cryptos tend to do pretty well. So
yeah, because I'm an ex JP Morgan graduate and employee from London back in the dark ages, but I'm part of the alumni now. I joined this for the crack because actually, in fairness, I'm still friends with a lot of people I trained with in the first. When you go, it was like 30 went in as graduates, so we had a lot of fun together. And but I've got a call in to see if I can interview Jamie Dimon. I'd love to interview him just to see what he reckons. Yeah, so if I get that interview, you'll know all about it.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it. So what else do I have here? Oh yes, Circle did a survey. They conducted a survey with more than 3,000 individuals. They included millennials, Generation X, and baby boomers. And of course, what they found was that men were twice as more likely to invest in cryptocurrencies as women. So, and the survey that they did was people who are identified as aggressive investors. So about 42% of male millennials said that they are likely to invest in cryptocurrencies, and as a comparison, only 20% of women, millennials specifically. And of course it drops down after you go down the generations. So 16% of Generation X, and baby boomers. See, I'm telling you, I'm not
confused. Am I a baby boomer?
I think so, yeah.
I get confused. I know I'm not a Generation X or Y. I know that. Generation B.
Yeah. And then in women, it was in baby boomers, it was 9%. So,
wow.
We have a lot of work to do here.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm doing a lot of talking next week with EOS in Dublin. They have their meetup, and we would talk, first of all, meetings before with the meetup, and Sharif, who's the EOS Dublin block producer, MD, had asked me to give them a talk about women and why women should get into this area. So I'm pushing that so hard. I gave an interview yesterday with, do you know Dean Kirkman with Crypto the Wonder Dog? He's a lovely guy, right? And again, women, get women into it. So I'm saying the same things over and over again, but it is so important. So that's interesting, isn't it? The way to go. And then go back to EOS too as well. There was a couple of hacks there. You saw that on the gaming platforms. And actually, it was interesting. They both came out very quickly. I think it was EOS Bet Casino and DOS Games. But one was a hacker. Apparently hacked a smart contract, so he'd bet $10, and then all of a sudden get $1,000 back. He did that repetitively, so they caught him. And the other one I think was a big one, but they both came out very quickly and said, "This is good. It's stress testing," and they were very transparent about it. And that's clever because obviously a lot of traditional companies they wouldn't come out. So I would say as a positive actually. It wasn't great to get them on their toes, but they came out very quickly and acknowledged it. So yeah, I would maybe be more trustworthy.
Yeah, definitely. I think honesty is the best policy. I mean, if you try and cover stuff up, it's going to go badly wrong and people are going to lose trust completely. So things happen. There's a lot of hacking in the blockchain field. So, who's not good enough on their tech, they need to sort of gear up. And
then I was looking too as well about the ICO funding. It's cooling off. It's as we know, some of them very bad. It's retreated to 300 million. It's still a significant amount of money. But it's the same as May 2017. And the survey that I read, it said that the STOs are on the rise. And Tokeny, the traditional ICO supporting platform, it's moved totally into STOs themselves, with security token offers. And actually, they mentioned two deals, which was the equivalent of the entire ICO deal. A 250 million deal with a real estate tokenization, and a 50 million dollar tokenization of equity, fintech equity startup. So that's interesting with the movement. I mean, we even have this conversation about tokenomics, about where it's going, ICO, STO, what's actually happening. So yeah, I think that probably is a maturity of the marketplace.
Yeah, and yeah, security tokens definitely. I mean, as I do, well, my daily job basically is talking to investors, and they are very keen on security tokens because they realize that you invest in something, you're going to actually want to return, not just hoping utility tokens will go up. And I mean, utility token was never meant to be an investment vehicle. It was supposed to support the system. But yes, security tokens, they are the new hot thing. And, I completely understand. If I invest in something, I also want a piece of, what this company is making.
Yes, and that's the Howey test, that by the efforts of the company, the value of the underlying token will rise. That is a security. So I think, as I mentioned the last time, John Salmon, a really interesting guy, technology partner with Hogan Lavelle in London, lawyer, but he was saying, if you want to raise money, do the equity round, then do a security round, because your investors will know that they will get money. And then if you need a token in your community, if it actually makes sense, then do a token round. And with the security round, do, for institutional investors alone, or the exclusions, and with the utility, cap it at like 500 or whatever the amount that might be likely to be used on the platform is. So I'm increasingly thinking towards doing the security token, the STO is going to be, and it's hot because someone I spoke to as well who works at Knowles, Karina Collins, she was saying they're looking to invest into people onto the Knowles platform, but they only want security tokens. So I think that is good. And it makes sense because again, I've been having this problem with my head with the tokens and the Howey test. But yes, why would you invest in a token that you didn't want to go up? And that to me seems to be at the core of it,
And Estonian, our e-residency and government are really looking into how we can get this security token thing going faster. And with Black Insurance, we're trying to set up kind of like a work group to sort of, because we are going to be having security tokens, which are essentially backed by insurance risk. So how do we find the legislation easier? Because right now the law is just, there isn't one for this. And we need to work with the governments to make that happen. And, then Estonia could become a hub of security token offerings as well. So, which I'm of course very pleased with.
Yes, yeah. So, and then a week wouldn't be a week without John McAfee.
Oh yeah.
You see that? Flood the SEC, Jay Clayton, flood his email. And then the BuzzFeed did an ROI, a Freedom of Information Act request, and there's 100 emails sent in, but half of them are written like by semi-literate people or very strange ones. So the basic commentary is that they don't reckon that Jay Clayton's going to be too impressed. If that's the standard of English being written by his supporters, why would he want to do a public debate with obviously John is a very smart man. I know he's very eccentric and some mad stuff, but John is a very intelligent man. You hear him on interviews, he's very smart, but I can't see those particular emails persuading. And also, John did refer to him as a motherfucker in the tweet. So, not such a good way to invite someone to a debate. More of the crazy stuff.
This guy is mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also saw he posted somewhere a photo of someone like, look, this guy challenged me to a drinking competition and he's now living in a wheelchair. Like, what?
Weird. What goes on inside his mind? And the gas thing is that I did see one interview, a really good one, and he was saying that he only invests in projects, which, well, this wouldn't necessarily, because his activity on Twitter would say otherwise, but he only invests in projects which change the world for the better. So like, sustainable energy, climate control. So, I mean, what he says, and that interview, oh, wow, I like what he's saying. But then he seemed doing all sorts of weird stuff, and you're going, I'm not too sure. I think he speaks out of both sides of his mouth, maybe,
Yes, interesting character for sure. I've got another one here. So Tezos is finally launching their blockchain.
No way.
Worth 1 billion. And yeah, of course, the price has gone up a lot. due to that. And yeah, you know, they were one of the biggest ICOs in 2017. They raised 232 million, and they had all sorts of disputes there, and they got into a bit of a fight with the board. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing like where this can go. So this is definitely very exciting.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because that was held up as an example of the craziness of the ICO market, and certainly the amount they raised is massive, and the fighting, which is kind of expected, if you like, that kind of money coming in a couple of minutes or whatever. But it's nice to see them sorting themselves out, because you can say, yeah, they went through a bit of a mad phase, but that money's going to have a return for people, and that's actually very good news for the marketplace. And more good news, so the Coinbase for the New York City office, that's for a few institutional clients. They're hiring 100 employees, so that's also good news. There's a lot. I actually think this week is a very good week. A lot of solid stuff that are coming out. So yeah, that's all I found. Did you find other stuff that you found? Or?
Yeah, I mean, there's some good news, and you know, the prices. Ethereum is now over 200 again. So
yay!
But yeah, Tezos, they gained 26% in price.
Wow.
Thanks to news. So EOS is up a bit. So currently the week is looking pretty green after the massacre. But yeah, we'll get there in the end.
We will. And it'd be nice when over the summer we've been saying the price. We're not going to talk about the price. We're all there, you know. Anyone holding any kind of
to buy.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, if you're able to buy them, anyone who's holding coins, looking at going, that's very sad. That's very sad. That's very sad. But now, maybe not so sad. Maybe not so sad. So that's cool. Yeah. So anyway, that's brilliant. I think it was a good week overall.
Yeah.
And you had your anniversary. That's a good week.
Definitely.
You look great for someone who was out in the razzle last night. You look fantastic. How do you do it?
I feel ghastly.
Well, you look amazing. It's youth, obviously.
Makeup.
Oh, and before we finish, I must mention again the Icon Awards have gone live. So anyone who wants to enter them, iconawards.io in London, and it's £150 starting to enter. But there's no experts rating the projects. It's all public voting. So mobilize your communities and talk about your product and get people to start voting for you. So yes, enter your votes. Woo! World first. Woo!
Definitely.
Brilliant. So what reckons? It's a good week for you?
Yeah, I would say a good week.
Yeah, I think you look great. How do you manage? That's amazing. Looking great and being hungover. That's very impressive. Okay, well, so we're going to say goodbye to everybody. We'll see you next week. It's a good week for that.
Yeah, bye-bye, and subscribe and like our videos, and of course share them wherever you can.
Brilliant.
See you next week.
Okay, bye.